Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. Let's start the show. Hey,
what's up?
Hello and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. I'm your co-host, Doug Bennett.
And I'm your sickly other co-host, Seth Nacho. Welcome to this excellent recording that I am feeling under the weather for. But we do it anyway. The show must go on!
Fuck it, we do it live.
For my Insert Name Here family, we must keep going.
Oh, indeed, yes sir, yes sir.
Oh yeah. 10 things that'll make you say, oh yeah.
Getting any utility for free? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, still shout outs to Fat Cheeto, bro. That guy's awesome.
Fat Cheetah the dog. Love that guy. Well, another eventful show, another eventful day in the life.
Oh.
Happy Doug's Height Day Eve to those who celebrate. That's going to be awesome.
Doug Bennett's Height Day Eve, because tomorrow is Doug Bennett's Height Day, yes.
That's correct.
Mine already passed.
May 10th, for those keep the score at home.
No, May 11th.
What's the difference? every 5'10" guy, when you call him 5'10", actually 5'10" and a half, so I can round it up to 5'11". We get it, bro, you're short.
This is ridiculous, dude. This is freaking ridiculous.
Can't all be 6'2" Chad.
Alright, I just want to go back to last week's episode. Doug was talking about dream collabs. A collab that I see in our future. Check out the Spotify exclusive premium content if you want to know who my collab would be with. Because I think that would be pretty funny, actually. If we go on like a Zoom call with those guys.
Set it up, man. Fucking hit the TikTok.
I mean, I hit the comment. You know. Anyway, but happy Doug Bennett's Height Day Eve. That's what I've been thinking about all week. Is that we're doing the podcast the day before. It sucks. Like last year we did it on the day, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I was excited for you that your Height Day is coming up.
You know, it just feels good to be seen. Which you kind of always are at 6'2", towering.
How could you not be seen? People see your fucking eyebrows coming, you know?
Indeed. But that's dope. We're at the start of Poon June, okay?
What? What is this? What? This is a new holiday? I thought it was Pride Month.
Okay.
But we got rid of the months.
Yeah. So Poon June isn't a month. It's just...
It's a mindset.
It's about fishing. Okay.
What is about fishing?
Yeah. See, especially worldwide, what we have a big problem with, lionfish. Those fuckers, they ruin reefs, they ruin regular fish populations, they're hella predatory. But the good news is, they are kind of good eating. So you want to get out there with your little spear gun.
Are they the king of the ocean? Because they're like the lion?
Yeah, they got this cool spear gun type thing, right?
Yeah, like a...
For those of you who
like
don't
a small
know,
harpoon?
you got this, fucking, what do you call it, rubber hose type contraption. You just kind of like set it up, you cock it on your elbow, then you're swimming around, you just release it, and like a mini harpoon, it just shoots out, stabs the fish. So, Poon June, I want you to get out there, go swimming, kill a bunch of lionfish.
I'm not going to lie to you, that is not what Poon June sounds like.
That's why I had to explain it.
To me, it sounds like the version of White Boy Summer, basically. Like, we're gonna get laid in Poon June. That's what it sounds like to me. And I know you're not that horny. There's no way that's what it meant for you.
You know, if as a side effect of you being such a naturalist, such a conservative hallmark characteristic of caring about the environment, it's a conservative policy, by the way, environmentalism.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Just saying. If as a side effect of you doing that, it happens to up your social cred with the ladies, I'm not going to tell you not to smash.
Oh, dude.
Okay?
Dude, back in college, bro, there was this guy that you were good friends with that told me, like, the way to get women is to start a recycling campaign. That was his whole thing, was that if you did this whole recycling thing, you would get tons of pussy. And I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work, bro. I think that's what you're, like, describing. If you go out there and kill all these lionfish, then maybe you'll get...
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like, deer hunting, like you just thin the population.
Well, it's more like wolf hunting. Because again, lionfish
deer
are
are prey.
predatory species.
Yeah, I get that, but it's still the same idea, though, thinning out the population so that it doesn't cause a problem.
Yeah.
It means they don't have any predators of their own. That's what that means.
What did God put us here for? We're the ultimate predator.
Our eyes are both in the front of our head.
Yes.
It's meant to be
Not
like-
everybody's. You see somebody out there with prey eye physiognomy.
Whoa, you used a crazy word there.
Physiognomy is just like your physical composition, the way you look,
I
like
thought it was just physiology.
how your body is built, how
Okay.
you're made.
Well, there's people that have eyes like that. Like,
Oh yeah, fucking new Snow White for one of them. She had prey eyes like crazy.
the girl that plays Snow White, what's her name?
Rachel Zegler.
Yeah. I heard she got into more drama, but I didn't really say anything about it.
She's supposed to do that. She's in it. Wow.
Okay. Well, anyway.
That's my official position on anybody like that forever now. It's like I'm supposed to care. Like,
Well,
you're not only managing to be entertaining in your entertainment job, you're managing to entertain me in your off time. I'm supposed to get into moral outrage about that. Like, more of them should be doing this. Like,
oh, great. Okay.
I need more controversy, more hubbub, more outrageous things from celebrities.
Something for TMZ to report on.
Yeah, or like regular. Another good example, right? New Mission Impossible came out. I think this week. I think it's opening weekend for it.
Yeah.
And of course, there's always like pre-screenings or special select screenings. Tom Cruise went to one and was just being an absolute legend the whole time. Fucking eating popcorn like a psycho. You know how this dude eats popcorn?
Like,
Yeah, he'll hold the bag, he'll take a loose handful, shake it around in his hand.
the dice shake.
It's a fucking insane move already.
That's what you do with Skittles. You shake them.
And just what you do with nothing that you're seriously eating as a human adult. Okay? But anyway, he does this old jerk-off motion, which results in a bunch of popcorn spilling out of his hand.
That's hilarious.
And then he throws it at his face.
Throws it.
Yeah, not from a distance. It's not like a big toss, but like the motion is grab, toss, toss, spill, 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 toss, grab, spill, spill, spill. Fucking insane shit. That's not how a human.
That is cool. That's like smoking a Marlboro cigarette. That's cool.
And if anybody on this planet is gonna do it, thank God it's Tom Cruise.
Thank God it's Tom Cruise.
Okay.
After that crash out forever ago, dude. But him, like that's like how a guy in a movie eats popcorn. You know what I mean?
It'd be in his life a movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Tom Cruise is the guy. Like that makes sense to me.
Tom Cruise is movies.
That he would be the guy to do that, because that is like how you would eat it in a movie. Obviously, in an actual movie, it wouldn't spill, and he'd catch it all in his mouth. But in real life, that's not how it goes.
For show, for show. I mean, I guess on the topic.
But that doesn't seem very controversial, like whatever her name is, the girl from Snow White. I can't believe you said she has prey eyes.
Brother.
I'm not letting you skip past that. That's hilarious.
Lots of people have prey eyes, and
All humans have eyes in the front of our head.
Brother, look at that shit. Offset as fuck. They're way out wide. I mean, if you're gonna, and look right there, you can see the skull shape. If the nasal bridge is the front of it, full tilt on either side, it's tilting outward, increasing field of vision.
She's a fucking rabbit.
Probably all the way out to 270.
Well, she could probably see a lot of stuff. She could really, in an IMAX theater, she could really get her money's worth.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm locked in here at fucking.
You got the blinders on.
Almost 90. Fucking. Look at that. Look at that. Look how good that is.
You're such a predator.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And everyone should always thank me for restraining my God-given impulses. Okay, I choose every day not to be
terrible.
I choose every day not to be a menace to society.
I almost said something real terrible.
What is this show for if not to say terrible things?
Yeah, I know. He's a predator, guys. This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old girl.
And not for the reasons you think.
Not for
She's
those
gonna
reasons.
get her ass kicked.
She's gonna die. Oh no!
Now,
He's a serial killer.
there's no sport in killing children. You just have to cripple them. Okay?
Jeez Louise.
The art, the skill, is in towing the line, not crossing it.
Did I ever tell you about how my physics teacher in college taught us about how about fulcrums and lever arms with the links? He had a meter stick, and he said if you want to beat your kids with it, you want to grab it from the end so you have a longer lever arm and more force.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit! Why are we talking about beating our kids?
Well, I mean, it really depends. I get what he's saying, right?
No, in science it made sense, but it was the metaphor of beating your kids that really got me.
Yeah, the thing that he missed there is the nuance with that. There's levels to it. For example, not everything bad a child does is a full meter's stick of force worth of offense, right? Okay.
I like that. I like where you're going with this, Doug. I like where your head's at.
If they got a potty mouth, maybe that's more of a half meter kind of deal, okay? If you,
Depending on where I grab the stick, the crime.
Meanwhile, if they have a chronic shoplifting problem because they're hanging out with the wrong teens, emphasis on teens, maybe the full meter's warranted. So jumping straight to you grabbing at the end with the meter to beat your kids, show some class, buddy.
Talk about make the punishment fit the crime.
Indeed.
Man. Wow.
Well, speaking of punishment and controversy, I guess we can get into sort of the biggest news story I was aware of this week.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. You ever heard of this guy Glenn Greenwald?
See, you. I don't think I have, but I have one prior piece of information. It's that he's a journalist.
Okay, cool. So you know, the beginning of his deal.
Who does he journal for?
He's sort of an independent journalist. He has been for a long time. He got his start in law, actually, an attorney. Pro bono stuff.
That's interesting. Attorney turned journalist.
Yeah.
I want to make no money. Okay.
Yeah, no, pretty cool guy. I mean, a lot of his early stuff, especially in law, revolved around free speech and whatnot. He would take up cases for...
You said he was pro bono, so he was a public defender?
Yeah. One of his biggest cases was defending who he's credentialed as a white supremacist here, Matthew Hale. He's this guy's actually wrongly imprisoned. So he's one of these free speech guys. You do I don't agree with what you have to say, but I defend to the death your right to say it type shit. What,
Okay, type shit, heard.
yeah.
TS.
So, like any real person, if you're a real one, you about that kind of shit, right? No speech is criminal, all those kind of good things.
I was just fucking around, bro. What's he talking about, guys? What's he talking about?
Anyway, so
I don't understand all this Zoomer slang.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Moving into his journalist years.
Yeah.
He did a lot of good counterculture reporting on stuff like Snowden and whatnot. This guy is, for all intents and purposes, anti-establishment. Or at least that's the impression that he wants to give out and give or whatever. It has a pretty good reputation, kind of rejected by the establishment considering his roots and pedigree, is what it is. So that's not why he's in the news though, right? Somebody got footage of what he does with his private time. And
With
But
his private time.
I mean, golly.
So on the outside, he's an anti-establishment, pro-free speech. On the inside?
Yeah. On the inside, he likes financial domination and race play. With a side of sissy cuckoldry.
What?
Yeah.
My boy's into sissy hypno?
So the video, what came out was sort of POV style footage, sexual footage of him, doing sissy cross dress, licking a black guy's feet, and then paying him $2,000 for the privilege of it, all while being degraded and degrading himself. Classic sexual compromise. We know exactly whose playbook this comes out of. We've covered it on the show many times.
The Steve Madden, though.
And what's really interesting here is sort of the reaction to it coming out, right? I remember growing up in a world where this would torpedo, this would come out, someone would kill themselves over it.
Right. Yeah. If they hadn't already died already from the asphyxiation.
Pretty much. Which, by the way, fun fact, you go down this rabbit hole, all these high-profile autoerotic asphyxiation deaths, like, anybody who's into that, nobody who's actually into that shit has ever died from it. So it's just a really convenient cover-up story.
Yeah, it is.
When foul play is involved. To be like, oh yeah, he fucking killed himself while jerking off, what a loser.
Oh yeah.
Like, no, that's not how it works. Anybody who gets into it or even researches it one time. So that's not a real thing, just thought you guys should know.
Okay.
Anyway, not the case this time.
Dude.
The person who leaked it, right?
Dude licked his feet. Well, how did I even get footage of this? What is this?
Yeah,
What do you mean POV? Is it his POV or the black guy's POV?
It's the black guy's POV.
Okay.
Anyway, one, you just got to assume that if you're on video anywhere, it's getting out there at some point. And once you're on camera, it is not safe. It's done deal. Let go and let God.
It's happening.
So anyway, it sure obviously got in the wrong hands. It's not the kind of thing that gets published usually on purpose. So what's different here, though? One, the overall reaction to it is like, golly, we didn't need to know that about you, Glenn. Oh well. And people just kind of we're like, yeah, this sucks for him that he got exposed, but he does good work, so let's pack it up, move along, whatever. Everyone already knew he was gay. Like, he's very publicly gay.
Sure.
He's had a husband before. They adopted kids. The whole rigmarole. So
The Modern Family.
yeah, that's not, being gay isn't what it used to be either, in terms of like a reputational hit. So it's a very mild reaction.
That's really like Congressman.
Everyone's just like, yeah, that sucks. What a loser that somebody leaked that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Some people tried to moralize and grandstand and be like, oh, you claim to stand for all this stuff, and yet look how you spend your free time. It's like, it's not like he's sitting there publishing this on Maine. Except he did. Somebody leaked it to X, and instead of letting them use it as leverage on him, he just reposted it, and it was like, yeah, it clearly got into the wrong hands. Now you know what I do in my free time. Hope this doesn't change what you think about my work.
That's pretty sick, dude. Him owning it?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick, actually.
So, credit where it's due. I mean,
That's actually pretty fucking sick.
not to yuck anybody's yum, but pretty much everything involved in that video is on my short list of like things actively worth disrespecting. I do think less of you as a person if you're into those kinds of things, but I'm not gonna hold it against you. That's where,
that is two different. You are saying like contradictory things there.
well, that's where I can meet somebody.
Like I judge you, but I'm not gonna hold it against you. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean
It's because you're judging them,
Yeah,
so you have to hold it against them, right?
no to pull it back in. To pull some of last week's stuff back in, that is the true spirit of we listen and we don't judge, right?
Like you're actually judging them, but like you don't let it phase your opinion of them.
Well, what's so bad about being judged, right? It's all the things that come with it. It's
Rejection, I guess.
Yeah, it's the scale of shame. It's the externalized shame factor.
Guilt,
right?
shame, yeah, the cringe.
Yeah, right. So by imploring somebody, listen, don't judge, you're not asking them to not judge you, because one, you can't control that. You cannot control what's happening in somebody else's head.
You can't.
But you're saying, we're not doing the externalized shame portion of that process. Like, you're going to have to internalize whatever's going on there. So, like, do I think less of, knowing this about Glenn Greenwald, do I think less of him as a person? Yes.
Yeah.
Does it throw away his journalistic pedigree and what he stands for? No. Those two things don't intersect. Or a rational, intelligent...
The art from the artist?
And a rational, intelligent human being. A good...
Is this an art from the
adult.
artist argument?
I mean, I guess in a way, yeah.
Like what he stands for versus what he likes? You know?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would never voluntarily choose to, like, meet or spend time with Kanye West, but... I mean, he made Graduation.
Yeah, I'm talking about this guy. Like, would you want to hang out with him, or would
No!
But you would read his article.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about journalism, like good proper journalism, is it's reporting on things that happen. It's just facts. Good journalism is just facts. Okay? I'm a facts kind of guy. We all know this. You know?
Factually.
So,
Yeah. De facto. He's a fact kind of guy. I've never once heard him put his opinion in anything. He's always just about the facts.
well, the thing about my opinions is that they are factual. I'm
thinking I'm right.
It's the refrain of the show. It's right up there with, golly, what else do we say?
What, doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor? Yeah. But yeah,
So that was, really
that's
unfortunate.
crazy that dude was dressed up like a little sissy and looking at a black dude's feet, talking about, I'm a little bad boy. Ooh. Like, what a guy.
You $2,000.
What a guy, dude.
So honestly,
I'm just a baby. I don't have any money.
the worst thing about it was it totally sucked up all the conversation around Glenn Greenwald, because it happened the day that his Tucker Carlson show episode came out, which,
So that was terrible.
Yeah. What's more entertaining? What's more salacious? What are you going to engage with more, especially on an interaction?
Yeah, they ruined that
algorithm.
They ruined that whole interview then.
I don't know if they ruined the interview. I'll get around.
Well,
to it.
obviously the interview itself is fine. I'm talking about like they ruined like the day it came out. It's not going to get as many views as it could have. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I wonder how that conversation went between him and Tucker Carlson.
I mean, it wouldn't have been the first one.
We heard. What does Tucker Carlson sound like?
Now, Mr. Greenwald, it seems that in your private time, you are into certain things that some may consider weird.
Like, it's just like, he's like, yeah, I like to dress up like a woman and act like a woman and.
That's crazy.
There's naked pictures of you online.
Who's doing this? And who's jacking off to it? It's not me. And maybe it's you. Maybe it's your family.
Tucker Carlson is so funny.
Man.
The way he talks is so funny.
You know what makes me sad about... I do like his new show, right? His post.
No, yeah. It's what everybody says is that it's pretty good. Like he's like basically doing the independent journalism thing now.
Yeah. But what makes me sad about it is now that he's out of that sort of broadcast media framework, he has a new voice. He doesn't talk like that anymore.
He doesn't?
Not to the degree that he did.
He doesn't talk like that like he did on Fox?
I would say his much more defining vocal characteristic is his frankly insane laugh. Like that one that I just did is
That's real?
It's basically what he does.
He does like a Joker laugh?
It's like ah! It's oddly high pitched considered to where he talks.
Is it the SpongeBob? Hide.
It's I think the best synonym. It's not really a synonym, but the best specific kind of laughter is a cackle. He cackles like a hyena.
Like a hyena. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Whoopi Goldberg hyena.
Yeah. Frankly, it's off-putting, and that's why I can't listen to anything that he does live. Because just sort of the live energy. You can tell when he's speaking live extemporaneously. He almost doesn't know what to do with that kind of energy. I wouldn't. A less observant individual might describe it as nervous energy.
Right.
But
anxious.
He's just more so hopped up on this. It's adrenaline more than it's nerves. Maybe he'll master it someday. Who knows? He probably still has time. I don't know how old he is.
Yeah, I don't know what he is. He's still got a nice head of hair, so he's fine.
Let's ask Grok.
Ask Grok how old Tucker Carlson is.
The Grok Ask of the Week. How old Tucker Carlson? Tell me in patois. Is that how you spell patois? Please.
What the hell? You're telling it to have an accent in a typed out thing?
Yeah.
What is it? Ponte Cross.
He said, yo, Tucker Carlson born upon May 16, 1969, so him at 56 years old now, seen?
56.
Yeah.
I didn't know Grok could talk like that.
He can talk like a...
We're learning a lot here, folks. Grok apparently can talk to you like a Jamaican.
He can talk... That's what's so good about Grok, man. It just...
He's Jamaican me crazy.
Another one I really like is asking Grok to describe things in pidgin.
What is that? What is pigeon? Is it pigeon? Like the bird?
No, pidgin, P-I-D-G-I-N. It's, golly, how do you describe something so amorphous?
Describe something what?
So amorphous. Something that's without form, really. Alright,
And
you know
what
what?
is it?
You know what? We got Grok right here. Let's tag him. Grok,
What is
can
pigeon?
you explain pigeon in pigeon? We're really fire.
He's quick.
Hobra, pigeon be the kind language we talk in Hawaii, yeah? It's like one big mixed plate. Got English, Hawaiian, Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, and all kind of other stuff mixed up together.
Oh my god, the D's are crazy.
We use them for talk story, make quick kind deals, or just hang loose with the apparatus. Like, no, you need talk all fancy. Just keep them simple from the high, you know?
Okay, so pigeon.
Yeah.
That's a Hawaiian thing.
Yeah, pigeon come from way back when plantation days.
No, see that was my question. Is like, where is it native to, basically?
Yeah, they start mixing words, making all new kind grammar, and boom, pigeon born.
Okay. All right. Just like any other language.
Yeah, short, sweet, and get the point across.
It's like Creole or Yiddish.
Yiddish is cool. If you ever like, I like going down linguistic fucking
Yeah, you love
trails, tunnels.
Bro loves it.
Yeah, you take like a bunch of East European. Well, really, it's like far west is Germany, but like a bunch of the Eastern European stuff.
Yeah.
Mix it with biblical Hebrew, and you have this whole dialect. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, you could like get your point across in so many different cultures, while only like being fully understood internally. And those are always cool, like linguistic frameworks, things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is such a cool fun fact.
for sure.
You get the stamp of approval. Approved. Approved.
Well, yeah, you know what journalists do that we forgot to do so far this week?
What?
They ask questions.
Dag nabbit. I thought you'd forget.
No.
Who? What are the 5 questions? Who?
What, when, where, why?
When, where, how? That's why. The 6th one's how.
Indeed.
How do you do? Question for you. For my boy Doug. I had something and I kind of forgot, so Sorry about that. What part of China would you want to live in if you were to live in China?
Chongqing, obviously. It's the biggest city in the world. It's the best name of any city in the world. Let's be quite honest. Sort of the way the whole city is set up, and we've been over it before on the show, but it's worth repeating here to fully flesh out the question. Yeah, so every building in Chongqing has a ground floor, right? The problem is it's in one of the more mountainous parts of China. So that's just where the bottom, like the ground floor is, but there's no like one universal ground floor. It's not like when you might go to like, Manhattan. The ground floor is the ground floor everywhere. Not so in Chongqing. You can get out at 0 in one building, and then no elevation change from one building to the other. Now you're at the top of another building. You go to that building's ground floor. Now you're in a tunnel. Take that tunnel, you pop it out, and what would have been basement 30 at the first building, now you're at the ground floor.
Okay.
Walk into the next building, go up, leave that building at its ground floor. Very cool maze of a city.
You seem very happy about that.
It's amazing. It's whimsical. It's like if Wes Anderson designed a city. No. That's Wes Anderson for whimsy for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Escher. Escher's the guy who did all the Topsy Turvy.
MC Escher.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dude that did the stairs and stuff. Yeah, the Escher stairs.
But Chongqing #1.
Can I show you this? I don't know if I said this to you or not, but let me just turn it down. So, this is really the most part, but this is some Chinese city. I'm thinking it might be Hong Kong or something, but it is beautiful looking. It almost is that cyberpunk sort of aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wealthy country is when RBG everything. That's me being too online there.
That's you being what?
That's me being too online there.
So RGB.
If you know, you know. That one's for those who know that comment. Chongqing's up there. Probably Beijing too, obviously.
Yeah, Beijing. Obviously, if we become Chinese radio, we're living in Beijing.
Yeah, and then I don't know any North Chinese cities, but
Xi'an. I don't know if that's northeast.
The tea goes crazy up in North China, so I mean number 3. Unfortunately, what can't go on this list is Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's part of China or not. It's very confusing. I don't think even they know. Okay, so can't.
I thought it was okay. I'm confused now because I thought Britain gave it back. They had an agreement and it finally came back to China.
Yeah, but I saw something one time where it's even within the agreement, there's some kind of loophole to where they gave it back in name only. So can't include Hong Kong in this conversation, unfortunately. We're also not going to touch Taiwan.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Stop trying to touch it, dude.
And the
I
reason
know you're a predator, but stop trying to touch it.
I won't see. Taiwan is off the table because that is where all of the world's warlocks live. And if you understand what chip manufacturing really is, the dark magic that's harnessed by the world's greatest sorcerers. Dude, we've talked about this before. We're going to talk about it again. Let's take a bunch of rocks, turn them into sand, which is really just tiny rocks.
Which turns into glass.
Then we're going to turn that glass into more rocks, and then we're going to write really small on the rocks so that they can write back to us. It's sigils. It's deep magic.
Are you talking about that demonic stuff? How they think demons sigils are on the chips? Microchips?
Do you know the sigils? What if what they put on computer chips is what is the sigillic magic? Okay, it's fantastic. I'm not going to Warlock Island. That's what Taiwan is. It's Warlock Island. They can have it. They can keep. I've played Warcraft. I know what they do.
I'm not going to Taiwan. I'm going to Tai 2. Okay.
The sequel's always better.
The sequel's always better. Another show classic.
Indeed.
But yeah, dude. Computer chips are weird. I have no idea how they work.
I talked recently. Like with
I mean, I know it has to do with like circuits and stuff.
Yeah. But we have talked in the past year about places to move to, and
Yeah.
China, not a bad option, honestly.
I mean,
They
yes
got-
and no.
They got all the babes, okay?
Yeah, there's good reasons and bad reasons to go
All,
there.
all the babes, and every babe has a factory. Like,
Oh God, yes. Oh
factory
God.
babe.
Factory babe in a motor,
T-
car motor.
Tina's got the used engine
It's-
factory.
yeah.
Big fan of Leah. She works in graphite manufacturing. Hello, boss. Do you need graphite parts?
Yeah, they find like these like. It's almost like Japanese in the way they do it. Like Japan's been on this for a while. You put a cute girl on a product, people are gonna love it.
There's a lot of great things that you can give Southeast Asia. Obviously, they were first at noodles. Okay, first at gunpowder.
Southeast Asia?
Yeah, SEA, Southeast Asia. That's
Does that include China?
yeah,
Okay.
or the parts of China that are like globally relevant anyway.
Okay.
I don't know. You get up near the wall. I don't know if you can include that in Southeast Asia, but
No, obviously not.
yeah, SEA is short. SEA is really just shorthand for the Big Four, in which one of these will surprise you. They're getting tagged on here just because they, frankly, deserve it, but you wouldn't expect it.
Is it
But
not?
Japan, China, South Korea, that's the big three.
Is it Nam?
I'm throwing the Philippines in there.
Oh, not Nam?
Yeah, but maybe I'm confusing the Philippines with Singapore. Maybe Singapore deserves this spot.
Singapore's a city-state.
Yeah, you know what?
Philippines is an entire island nation.
Yes, there you go. I was right to say Philippines.
But Singapore is very relevant. And then Vietnam, though, they have pho. You talk about the adventure of noodles. Gonna leave out Vietnam?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
They're Southeast Asia.
Sorry, I can't ever give props to communists. I just can't do it.
You're giving props to China.
They're not communists, dude.
They are. They are.
It's all state-run capital. That's that is read the book, read Capital, read the manifesto.
Well, yeah, it's not true communism.
Any American communists actually read Karl Marx challenge. Level impossible. Level never happened.
American, read Karl Marx.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anybody who's read it's amazing. People know that it exists, and they do the thing that low IQs do, which is it's in a book, therefore it's good. I don't actually need to read the book; it's just in the book. So people champion it and be like, "Look, it's good. This is the idea from the book that somebody told me about, and they told me that this idea is in the book."
If it's in a book, it's smart because it's
Now-
in a book.
Anybody that's gone and read those books comes to the obvious conclusion that it's fucking retarded.
Okay, all right,
So,
buddy.
any American communist who stays a communist, you know for a fact they have not read Marx.
Watch out for McCarthy. He's coming for you.
That being said, things that we can give credit to Southeast Asia for, things I've already listed, things we're not going to give them credit for because it's just what everyone's done in all of history. You put a cute girl next to something, or a hot girl, or a sexy girl, or a beautiful woman, even, if I may.
Yeah.
It will increase the perceived value of said thing.
Are you saying that that's not an original idea from them? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Like it wasn't Hardee's. I can't remember who did it, but like the Turkish model eating the hamburger or whatever. Whoever did that.
What the Sexy Burgers was very much Carl's Jr.
Yeah, it was.
And Hardee's.
Yeah. Anyway, that kind of thing. Like you put a beautiful girl with your product,
Yeah.
it's gonna sell well.
It's client. Yeah.
But Japan like did it to the next level, dude. Like they have Konbini Musume, the poster girls, and they've got like the anime, and they have every city has a mascot. They go to the next level with this shit. And China seems like they're picking up on this, especially their industrial factories.
I will.
That's where this was all at. This is where this was going. Was to go back to Tina.
I'm gonna tip my fedora, close up my kimono,
Uh-huh.
and begin unsheathing my katana with one thumb, and say that Well, you make a good point about, let's say, the Konbini Musume. Mascot culture actually derives from Shinto. The Shinto have this sort of
You're tipping your grass or whatever hat to me, and your
Yeah.
while you were busy getting laid, I was studying the blade.
Yeah. I'm going to close my copy of this fucking 5 principles that were done by Kenshi Musashi.
He
about how to be
closes his book of the brother sister manga. It's about a brother and a sister
Yeah.
that fuck each other. You put it down, stroke your neck beard. All right. I am from Japan, Gaijin-san.
Yeah. So, after making fun of myself for knowing something about one of the Asian cultures.
No, but cool. Shinto is the mascot, is what you're saying? 'Cause they're gods?
So for anybody who's not up on this, one of these ideas in Shinto is that sort of everything has a spirit or a god attached to it, and that's why it's important to take care of stuff and sort of honor it and treat things well.
Probably spirit.
Spirit is a really good.
There are gods in Shinto, right? And like they build shrines to them. But there's these. I cannot remember.
I mean,
the name
for the audio listener, God was accompanied by air quotes.
Yeah, I think it's called Tsukogami or something like that. I cannot remember the name exactly. But like when an item is loved by humans or whatever for a long enough period, it can like take on life. In this, not in reality, right? I don't think that's real. But
Well, that's the idea.
in the religion that it's possible, and so those things, those are like spirits, less like gods, right? But yeah.
And then so the mascot culture descended from that to where like concepts will have mascots, like all over Twitter. Like, and I hate that I'm forgetting the name of this, but there's a very famous mascot at this point who's the mascot of mascots. Like that's this mascot's deal.
He's the mascot of mascots.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about a mascot, you got to talk about this mascot.
I have it right here. What is this? Mondo Mascots. Okay. This is a mascot account. Oh, here's a great one. The mascot of Tokushima Prefecture is Sudachi-kun, who's a fucking citrus head.
Yeah, look at him.
And it's like so good. This is really gonna upset me.
You can't figure out the mascot of mascots is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Japan's always been like that, though. I mean, look at all their shows and stuff. There's always like a mascot character.
Grok, help me out. Who's the famous mascot from Japan? Oh, it's still talking to me in pigeon. This is ass.
Kumamon.
No, this is not the one I'm thinking of, unfortunately. Although Kumamon sounds cool.
From Kumamoto Prefecture.
Black bear with red cheeks.
Why is he still talking in pigeon?
Because I didn't tell him not to, and this is the same instance. LLM problems.
Oh, there he is. I just saw him. Yeah, that's
So
him.
that's Kumamon.
He's cute as hell.
But yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so this idea that objects or even concepts in some cases can take on like greater outsized personas and personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of deal. That they're very obviously there's a lineage there.
Oh.
Which I think is cool. Doing a little bit of cultural understanding.
By the way, I just remembered what So I came up with that question kind of on the fly. I remember what my real big question was.
Oh, baby.
And that is, will you ever go barefoot on the pod?
I mean, yeah, I could be convinced. You know?
There's like a guy out there that wants to see our feet, dude, and I'm kind of scared.
Yeah. I would say...
I think we need the Patreon. Okay, I think we need to make the Patreon first. So tell your friends to come watch the show.
Yeah.
And then, for $20, you can see one. For $40, you can see both.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little bit bigger here.
Okay.
My Steam profile is public, and I have a public wish list. And if all of a sudden those games aren't on that wish list and they're actually in my library, and there's a little note attached to that gift, I know where to send a complimentary photo set. You know,
Put your email in the...
potentially even themed. You know, tell me how you're into feet, and I can work with that.
Yeah, I can
You
put
know?
like chicken nuggets between your toes and dip them in ketchup.
If there's one thing that I've learned, if there's one thing that I've learned from watching women operate online in the fucking sex workspace, it's that there's no. You are only setting yourself up for success by having things like public wish lists available.
Right.
So, yet another reason for you to finally get a fucking computer.
Okay, buddy.
Stop being a Sony pony.
Is my wish list on PlayStation not available?
Probably not. They have a
Should
fucking
be.
ass.
Somebody
UI.
buy me Stellar Blade.
No, that's not your kind of game. You're more of a Dragon Age Inquisition kind of guy.
Well, I've got Veilguard or whatever because it was free. That game sucked. They spent years on that just to say this guy's non-binary. Oh, dude! Speaking of non-binary and shit, we got to talk about the Democrats.
Yeah.
Their newest like they finally had an idea. Doug. They finally remember we talked about it before. Like the only person that had something to say was that one dude from Florida.
And David Hogg.
Dang. Woo! Other than that, everyone else was just like, I'm this and I'm that. That's why I deserve to be it. Very Zoomer, by the way, of them to do that. Zoomers are crazy, dude. Because, like, they'll be like, yeah, I'm pansexual and I'm neurodivergent. And it's crazy because they own that shit. Because, like, back in the day, I didn't want to be a gay retard. But, like,
Hell yeah.
nowadays it's kind of cool. It's like you identify with the things that make you who you are. But anyway.
Very Glenn Greenwald.
Anyway, they were okay. They finally had an idea. They're like, and it was to how are we going to reconnect with young men, right?
Yeah.
And what made me laugh is that they did this. They went to like meet at like really fancy hotels and stuff to have these conversations while they're trying to reconnect with the working class dude.
And they use taxpayer money to fund it. These are government organizations, which means they have access to state and federal funds. And why would they spend their own money on that when they can steal it from you instead?
Yeah, and go to a really fancy hotel and talk about how you should be something else.
Yeah. That's a major thing about any Democratic official, elected or part of the Democratic machine. All thieves. They just rampant thieves. That's the one thing you gotta know about Democrats is they steal from people. But yeah, they want to reconnect with young men, and they just have so many good ideas. Let's get this guy Dean Withers, who cannot. They're trying to prop him up, and he regularly rage quits his live streams. Like he kicks his own audience out of live streams anytime a subject that he doesn't want to address or hold space for comes up.
Who was this guy?
He's destined to be a nobody, but they are trying.
He's a streamer?
Stream-ish. Like, he was... Do you know Harry Sisson? Do you know this guy?
No.
They tried to manufacture a sex scandal for Harry Sisson and be like, look, he's texting multiple girls at the same time. That was the best thing that they could come up with, by the way.
That's stupid.
Now, without promising exclusivity to any of them. At no point did he wasn't running around on any girls either.
Yeah.
He's just doing what is...
He's just texting. He's keeping his doors open.
Yeah, maintaining a roster, which I can't co-sign. I don't think is good or healthy behavior. But
I mean, if you're just talking, if you're not actually like dating any of them, I think that's fine until you like narrow it down to one. Then yeah, that's fine.
like I said, it's the kind of thing where like I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend somebody does it. But you're not stepping on any boundaries there. If you haven't put any boundaries down, if you haven't put any terms out, it's sorry. Oh no.
Yeah.
You want me to be mad about that? I just can't. I can't be mad at that. So they're trying all these guys, right? And they're
To be like role models for men or something.
they want to connect with men. They're like, we need to connect with young men. They're constantly looking for the Joe Rogan of the left. And I'm going to repeat what is now a tired refrain in spaces where people mock the Democrats. Surprise, Joe Rogan is the Joe Rogan of the left.
What? I thought it was our boy Adam Friedland.
It depends on what you define as left and right. And they're increasingly
Yeah, for sure.
They're increasingly meaningless in America, the conversation really is like, what team you're fucking on, Democrat or Republican. If you look at Joe Rogan is still the Joe Rogan of the left. I don't consider him a right-coded figure at all.
Not really, no.
Yeah. Just anyway. I digress.
He's right-coded because people wanted to label him that way so they could discredit him.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, but he doesn't really say that many right-wing opinions.
Yeah. Nobody before 2020 put any amount of right-leaning or conservative-leaning. Nobody before 2020 would put that on Joe Rogan. I mean, for fuck's sake, both time Bernie ran, both of the times that Bernie was running, Joe Rogan had him on, publicly endorsed him. Is what it is. Like, he hadn't really changed all that much if you evaluate his views across his entire career, because he was rightfully skeptic about almost everything that happened in 2020. Quite frankly, both the and then like the Floyd Summer of Love stuff, also skeptical about that, which more and more comes out week after week about
R.I.P.
how corrupt all that stuff was. No, absolutely not.
R.I.P. George Floyd.
Absolutely not. Fucking.
I'm calling Mama after this episode.
Oh, brother. Anyway, because he was
really gets his
because he was skeptical about what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
The teams were drawn. Either you're an all-in full believer, don't question anything about any of this, even though none of it makes any sense. That's a Democrat. That's a left-leaning person. If you have some questions,
I don't think you call that Democrat. I think you're trying to label it too hard. I think you're a sheeple.
Well, I mean, fucking talk about synonyms, brother.
I mean, you just don't even want to think. Heard that, buddy.
And then if you had any amount of pushback or skepticism to it, all of a sudden that's far right fascism, and you're
they label you that, so that you would.
And again, I'm not necessarily saying what is true here. I'm saying the narratives that have been drawn in what is the dying mainstream discourse.
Well, what do Democrats love doing the most right now? Because they're all basically SJWs now. They love virtue signaling.
The entire party platform is identity politics.
But like virtue signaling, like standing up for something that probably doesn't even need to be stood up for, honestly.
Well, I mean, that depends on what identity you are.
So during that time period of 2020, when the whoop was going on, or whatever you want to say, they didn't think about it because that was the virtue signal. I think they were thinking. I think they were thinking, I'll just go with whatever they say because that'll make me righteous. Yeah, everyone just wants to feel like they're right,
Yeah.
Nobody wants to feel wrong. Being wrong feels really bad.
Yeah. Coming back.
But sometimes you have to realize that you are wrong.
Coming back to modern, current, this week style democratic efforts.
Oh yeah, dude, tell me about this lady.
This newest push to connect with young men, they have this political strategist, Olivia Giuliana, and they're like, I know what we should do with this woman. Let's try and get her to do a lecture tour of university fraternities to connect. There's nothing young men want more and can relate to more than a lady coming in to tell them how inappropriate and wrong-headed they're being, and to really just longhouse the shit out of them. Just harass them into conformity.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like something I'd want to go to.
Yeah, not one of them said that she could come talk to them. Hey, this is the really confusing thing, is they're making these efforts, the Democrats, to reach out to young men. They're failing at them, which is fine and to be expected, because the very clear Democrat message to men is that we hate you and we want you dead.
Right, you're all incels and you're all right wing,
But the real kicker here is, why would you publicize these failures? Why would you make news? Why would you draw a spotlight? By the way, no one wants to talk to this woman. By the way, this woman is getting front and center rejected.
Oh my god!
By the very demographic we're alleging the touchdown to.
You make a great point. Why would you talk about it at all?
Yeah. It's like the grand scale degree of a humiliation fetish. Keeping everything in this episode relevant, tying it right back to the first story.
God, the Dims. Dude, but that reminds me, I just had like such a nostalgic like memory just show up in my head. Back when I was in high school, I don't remember if you were there or not, but there was this woman that came to talk to us about sex. And she said, everything's sex. Hand to genital, mouth to genital, genital to genital. And I was like, oh my god. A woman screaming at a auditorium full of teenagers about what's sex and how you should stay abstinent. And I was just like, what the que chingado, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what is happening here? Like, that's what this feels like to me. It's just like a man-hater woman coming up and telling men how they should stop procreating.
Essentially,
Basically.
Stop being men. The complete rejection of masculinity in any form. So, even legislatively. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to point and laugh at the fucking failure, because it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, do the Tucker Carlson laugh, go. It's good. That gets me, dude. That's pretty funny.
It's very good. It really, truly is.
It's funny, but I bet it would be terrifying to watch live. Like, if he was, like, live doing it, I'd be like, oh, God, that's a weird laugh.
Yeah, no, like, so I really liked his show, honestly, for a lot of reasons. I wouldn't take everything that he puts out or champions wholesale necessarily. But anyway, he got kicked from Fox about 2-ish years ago or whatever.
Yeah, during that Dominion lawsuit.
Pretty recently. But then he launches his own show, the Tucker Carlson Show on the TNN or whatever. That goes pretty good. And then for actually I think the whole back half of last year, like the summer on through the election at least, did a live speaking tour. And
he did.
Was publishing all those.
No, I remember.
Publishing all those instead of the tour.
He gave a great speech. He gave a speech about Trump and stuff after the assassination attempt. I remember that.
But then as someone who likes the show, I was like, okay, it's cool that he's publishing these because I'm not really willing to travel to these places and go to a big event and all this stuff. And I just had to not listen or pay attention to him for most of last year because it was all live show releases, and I was like, this is hard to listen to, man. This is stressing me out.
Yeah, it wasn't okay. It wasn't his usual interviews and stuff. The interviews are cool.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
But yeah,
independent journalism.
To keep this the through thread alive here, all these democratic efforts align with your prediction that this decade will see the death of the Democratic Party.
Think we're gonna get something new?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think we're gonna get something new?
Yeah, I think so.
This is me bringing your shit back up, giving you credit here.
Thank you.
I'm like, hey, looks like you're right. Look at the way this is going.
Give me my alms.
I'm giving you your flowers.
Yeah, I'll take my alms.
No alms for thee.
I'll take I'll take my laurels and I'll rest on them.
Accolades,
bro. Oh man. Well, is it about that time? I think.
Dude, why not?
What you think?
It could be. It should be.
Jinx. You'll be your firstborn son.
Yeah, right. Rumpelstiltskin. You gotta guess the name, bitch.
The name of your son? No, Joey.
Wrong.
You look like a kangaroo guy. I feel like you'd have a Joey, you know? That's what they call baby kangaroos, isn't it?
Too much sitcom baggage for Joey. Kangaroos aside.
How's he go? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
That's what Joey says. Guys, check out the Twitch. Twitch.tv/Seth_Nacho411. Mondays and Tuesdays. Doing it big, doing it live. Doing it fun. Doing it weird.
Bangers.
But yeah, guys, come check it out. Besides that, what am I going to tell you today? There's like two things floating around my mind. First of all, sorry I was so sick this episode. I know the coughing's going to be annoying, but please make it through. This episode was pretty good. Secondly, what was I going to say? Well, I'll talk about it like this. I'm gonna be releasing some clips this week, but Fortnite has an AI for Darth Vader. So there's a way you can get him on your team, which is, everyone kind of, if you know Fortnite at all, you know about stuff like that. Anyway, but they gave James Earl Jones, or like his family, gave his voice to Disney or to the Star Wars, they could use it however they want to. So Disney/Fortnite has now included James Earl Jones's voice as Darth Vader as an AI, and you can get him to say crazy shit. So I got some clips coming out of me like talking to Vader, so that's kind of fun. And I'm wearing the Hatsune Miku skin, so he's like Hatsune Miku. He says it in James Earl Jones like in Darth Vader voice. But that was pretty fun. Go check that out before the season ends, I would say, if you have a game, if you like the game, because it is fun to talk to the AI. Especially if you got like a whole squad, I think that'd probably be the most fun.
Hell yeah.
Are you suggesting that these Romanians are untrustworthy?
Show me how this could be used in battle, Hatsune Miku.
Very good stuff. Over here, you already know it's your boy Doug B, aka Goblin Ghoul. If you don't know where to find me, that's your own fucking fault. Challenge of the week. I mentioned that my Steam profile is public.
Boom.
So go find it and then type in the comments what my most played game was this week.
No, actually sign his profile.
Honestly, that'd be fucking cool. I'll make sure that like that's an option if that even is still an option. I know it was a big deal back in the day, especially in the Rocket League scene. Get your profile signed by like, oh golly, Justin. If you get
someone famous,
if you get the Justin sign.
Oh, what was that famous YouTuber, the Rocket League YouTuber?
There's a couple. Lethamyr is the one that comes to mind.
It's like Sun.
Sunless Khan.
That's the
who
one
you're thinking of. But yeah, Sunless Khan.
Like if you saw him in game, you'd be like, dude, please sign my Steam profile.
Squishy. You get the Squishy sign. That's huge.
But nowadays, Rocket League's on Epic Games, so it's not the same.
Well, yeah. I digress.
Anyway.
In terms of a parting shot, we're going back into the well of folk wisdom. Something that's kind of profound. When you're up, and when you're down, you're down. When you're only halfway, you're neither up or down. And, maybe you're halfway right now and you needed to hear that. So, yeah, just keep that in mind.
It's like my dad always used to say, wherever you are,
there you are.
There you are.
My dad used to always say, can't drive a car without the keys. And always on the way back into the house while you're waiting at the car. Classic family trait over here in the Bennett household is it's always something. You're always going back in the house for one more thing. Sometimes it's even the keys. Can't drive a car without the keys. But another thing you can't do is forget to do what you always must, which is carry water, chop wood, and most importantly,
Shalom Shu.
These people took my peace from me, then they froze my bank account. I got so much hurt inside me, got no way to let it out. Think I'm stuck in the silence, where's my faith, I'm dying. Yes, I was a mess, but now I walk with sign. The post that I'm dropping on Twitter, they tell me, hey, don't preach that. People don't see me in public, don't ride with Jesus laid back. With all of the money and fame, still couldn't get my peace back. With all of the money and fame, still don't get to see my children. People see my Twitter, but they don't feel what I'm feeling. So I turn to Jesus, yeah, now I'm forgiven. Praise the Lord Jesus. Praise the Lord Jesus. They don't understand the things I say on Twitter. They don't understand the things I say on Twitter.